Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's show. My name is Spencer Walsh, and thank you so much for joining us here today. We have a great show for you today. On the show, this is what we got. So, the conceding to the NRA, Trump will abandon his brief gun control promise. Well, that was fun while it lasted, and everyone kind of knew it wouldn't. In the end, it was a fleeting moment, really. Despite Mueller's push, the House Republicans declared no evidence of collusion. That investigation looked really authentic and good. And the Democratic establishment is moving closer and closer to single payer, but the activists want the real thing. So do the American people. None of this Medicare for extra, whatever this is. Weirdness. All right. Anyway, we have a great show for you today. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to get into it all. All right, so first, in President Trump on Monday, he abandoned his promise to work for gun control measures opposed by the NRA, bowing to the gun group and embracing its agenda of armed teachers and incremental improvements to the background check system. So that is what they're trying to do, and they are trying to... Well, this isn't actually really gun control reform. It's like literally, it's barely any meaningful gun control form at all. Like when he will not try to do any sort of, he will not really push for anything that, he will not push for anything substantive, not for anything that really wants to kind of solve mass shootings, not for anything that's going to really put a dent in things, which is really sad and kind of scary. Like if we have the president who still will not stick up for us and just be able to get us into doing some really possible good things. So after the Florida high school massacre last month, Trump explicitly called on live television, raising the age limit to purchase rifles, and backed the 2013 legislation for near universal background checks. He later told the lawmakers, the NRA has great power over you people, but they have less power over me. He was the most donated to Republican politician by the NRA. He got it on a little bit, but the NRA, after some pressure, was able to get in. The NRA has brought the president to heel. Again, dramatizing the sway the NRA still maintains in Republican circles. Students around the country might be massing for a march on Washington on March 24th. The victims and survivors of school shootings from Connecticut to Florida may be pushing for their states to move on gun control, but Trump cited a lack of political support for raising the age limit to purchase rifles, which is not evident in public opinion polls, but is very much evident in his party. So, but if you look at the polls of public opinion, there is nothing. There is literally nothing. And if he was a president who really wanted to be remembered for something good and something the American people want, because the American people, believe it or not, they want some effing gun control. And this is how, because I know Trump cares about like this kind of being remembered, kind of leaving a broader impact kind of thing. Just getting good press. He'll get a lot of good press if he says, this is a very popular thing. The polls, every single poll says, you should raise the age limit and pass some meaningful gun control. And then that's how you would make some major evidence. I mean, it's not like even most of the Republican Party is fine with this. There's just some far-right gun extremists who are like, no, we're not giving an inch on this issue. And the fact is that is kind of scary when you look at the bigger picture. He said his administration was studying the issue and suggested that states should decide whether to prohibit people under 21 from buying the kind of assault weapon used by the gunman who rampaged through Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Without referencing an Oval Office meeting ahead with the NRA officials this month, the president acknowledged the lobbying group's successes. Not much political support, to put it mildly, Trump said of a higher age limit in tweet, adding his administration will watch court rulings before it acts. He did mention the NRA that it is the NRA that is precipitating such court rulings by suing the state of Florida over its new gun purchasing age law. To no one's surprise, the president's words of support for stronger gun safety laws proved to be hollow. No one really bought that. Responding to the number of 17 students and educators by endorsing the gun lobby's platform is a shameful abdication of the president's responsibility to lead. Shame on you, Mr. President. That's Dianne Feinstein there. Okay. Dianne Feinstein. With that remark there, the president's retreat, though, is a stark reminder. If anyone in Washington needed one, the debate still remains stuck where it has been for more than a decade, despite scores of deaths from mass shootings in that time. Republican lawmakers fear the NRA's ability to stir up opposition in their districts. They can do it well. It's a practice formula. They know how to do it. They did it with David Jolly of Florida. They're very experienced. They're very good at this kind of stuff, and they will continue to do it again and again and again until these Republican candidates fall down, and the only people who are left are people who they personally funded and put in there who are utterly loyal to gun rights in the NRA. They are the most focused, most dedicated lobby. They're the most dedicated and most put together lobby out there in American politics today. And when they're really organized, it is quite scary. So, yeah, only one gun-related measure on background checks seems likely to pass this year, but critics noted it would only enforce an existing law. It is, to me, really simple. John Conrad of Texas said, the chamber's number 2 Republican. Do people want the whole laundry list of things done and end up empty-handed? That's what usually happens. No, nothing usually happens. That is, I don't get it, because nothing usually happens. If you say, I want 100% of what I have, or nothing, we invariably end up with the same thing. I get what he means, like in a negotiating table. Like, I thought he meant empty-handed, like when no guns. Like, that never happens. You guys always get all the guns you want. I mean, no, it's just not like this is the kind of the genius of this quote here. Do people want the whole laundry list of things done and end up empty-handed? Quote, that's what usually happens. If you say, I want 100% or nothing, we invariably end up with the same thing. That is moving the Overton window. So it's kind of the genius that Republicans are able to play to enforce this kind of gun strategy. Because they say they ask for more, and they ask for more and more and more. And then the Democrats are like, let's just bring it back here. Let's bring it back to the left. Let's pass a little bit more of a gun law. And then the Republicans, they explode. They're like, what? Are you that demanding? What is wrong with you? Do you not respect the will of the American people? Do you not respect what we've done? And they just absolutely flip out. And it is pretty scary to see how much kind of influence and effect they have, how efficient they are at defending the rights, defending the power and doing the bidding of the NRA and their donors. They're really that effective, and it is quite amazing, quite stuttering, quite shocking, frankly, to see how good they are at what they do with that kind of thing. So, yeah, only one gun-related measure on background checks yet seems to pass, but that quote by John Conman is quite interesting. In the face of NRA opposition, the president has also retreated from his earlier openness to expand background checks and a renewal of an expired ban on assault weapons, positions he signaled during a remarkable meeting with lawmakers, which he demanded comprehensive legislation that would include long-standing Democratic efforts to restrict firearms. That would have made him like a really special kind of president, because he would have been like, if he had pushed this, because it's overwhelmingly popular, and if he had pushed this, if he had got this to come in and pass, it would have been quite a return. Would have been quite a return from the norm. When you think of Obama, you think of healthcare. Like, this is how you define your legacy as a president. This kind of opportunity right here, after something that bad as something where 17 people get killed in a high school. Do you want it? You really want to? This is kind of a great, like, kind of almost presidential opportunity to come in, take a stand on something, and say, you know what, this is not going to be acceptable any longer, and pretty much be like, no, we're getting some changes up in here. This is not okay. What's going on? And if he had come in and pushed for those things that he said he was going to push for, then Trump would always have been known as the guy who ended the decade-long gun debate that's been held up by the NRA. He, as the Republican president, one of the NRA said, stuck a big middle finger up in their face and said, we're going to pass these gun laws. And it would have been probably very effective based on the statistics there. Instead, though, what he did was he released a modest plan that eschewed gun control measures in favor of more limited bills that would provide weapons training for teachers and create a commission to study other responses to school shootings. What responses, though? That's the question. Attorney General Jeff Sessions did announce on Monday evening that the Justice Department would more aggressively enforce the existing law, making it illegal to lie on federal background checks, and would step up enforcement presence at schools. And literally all this past week, for the past few days, I heard it brought up several times, like how one teacher would behave with a firearm, because like it's affecting kids. Like they hear the news, they're on Snapchat, and the news is on Snapchat now. And they're like, Trump wants to arm teachers. It's creating kind of a weird reality. Trust me, because I would know, because I am kind of at these schools every single solitary day. And so Attorney General Jeff Sessions, he announced Monday about that. Earlier, still Monday, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the White House press secretary, said the president had supported the idea of raising the minimum wage for purchasing rifles. But he was committing to studying the issue, but only because you can't just decide how you just want a law to pass. This is just, we all know nothing's going to happen. He said he wanted to study it, but he was going to study it. And he's going to say, and he's going to study with the NRA. He'll be like, hey, NRA, should I do this? And they're like, no. And he's like, okay, thank you. I'm like, oh boy. So yeah, the big thing you want to take away this, the NRA has brought Trump to heel. Now they're back in each other's good graces again. This is the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. Your show will return in just 4 minutes.
Pendo on the beat.